I want to talk to you about Financial Pacific Leasing, and I want to give you a full review of this lender. And the big question is, should you consider Financial Pacific Leasing actually this year? This is a lender that has been around for a while, and they basically they help you with the leasing. They help you with the funding on a lot of programs, not only for business purposes, short term, but also long term. And what I love about Financial Pacific Leasing is that they are present in all 50 states. I mean, they're not physically present, but basically they'll lend to businesses in all 50 states. Okay, so and you also have the possibility to get to close your deal real fast within 24 to 72 hours, which is really rare at that level of like in this space. Speed is really of the essence, and not a lot of leasing companies give you that speed. Okay, the kind of speed that Financial Pacific Leasing gives you. So if you think about what is Financial Pacific Leasing, basically I want you to think about a direct provider of small ticket equipment leases. So they basically will fund you to a certain amount. Okay, the company actually began in 1975, and they have become an industry leader in innovative financing solutions. So this is kind of cool because you are able to see a proven track record. Well, when I see a lender that has been around for a while, it tells me that they have been doing something right. They've been treating their borrowers right, and Financial Pacific Leasing has been doing something right. Now they got bought over by Umpqua Bank, okay, and since 2013, okay, so Umpqua Bank actually bought them over, so they are now part of the bank's lending platform, but they're still operating as a separate entity within the bank itself. Okay, but that's kind of cool because it tells you that this is a solid lender because for them to be bought over by a bank, they must be doing something right. Okay, so basically, the this company, Financial Pacific Leasing, they help you. They will help your company grow with equipment financing options. So if you are interested in that, this is the one of the lenders you want to talk to. So how does Financial Pacific Leasing work? The thing is that when you really need to understand is that they first of all they actually go from they will finance leases that go from 5,000 all the way to $150,000, five grand to 150 grand. So that's what I call small ticket because when it comes to equipment leasing, you can actually have even seven digits deals. Okay, but Financial Pacific Leasing they limit their exposure to $150,000. Okay, so what they do is they work with third-party originators and lessors to provide equipment financing and underwrites their funding. Okay, so if you are interested in having an equipment leased through a Financial Pacific Leasing, make sure that you work with a third-party originator. So the company's commercial division provides financing for new and used equipment. So this is kind of cool, okay? And this is really good. So what they do is they do financing, but they also do leasing. So they do equipment financing and they also do equipment leasing, okay? So and that's kind of cool. So in addition to leasing, just keep in mind that Financial Pacific Leasing actually provides equipment loans to purchase the equipment. So you can get an equipment finance agreement, an EFA, okay, where the equipment acts as collateral. So this is a fully collateralized loan, by the way, okay. So but this is really good because it just means the APR is going to be lower if you go through an EFA. You can also get a principal and interest loan, so a standard P&L loan to acquire equipment. And this is a more traditional loan, although the equipment still acts as collateral. Okay, and in the eyes of Financial Pacific Leasing, the main difference between an EFA and a standard P&L loan is that if you pay off the standard loan early, you save money on interest big time. Okay, So, what are Financial Pacific Leasing's qualifications this year? Well, basically, they consider financing agreements on an application only basis. Okay. So, they don't actually publish minimum requirements for credit score, income, or years in business. They'll look at your file on a case by case basis. Okay. And all you want to do here is that you want to complete the application on the company's website to determine if you qualify. So they have a possibility also for a soft pull. So you don't have to really get a hard pull right away. You can get a soft pull and then see how much you could qualify for. Remember, you are talking about what? $5,000 all the way to $150,000. Okay. So rates on those loan amounts, they depend on your leasing and how much it costs. But also, one thing you need to understand is that rates tend to run high, especially if the machinery is kind of rare, if you will. Okay. There are also various fees, such as equipment inspection fees, that accrue throughout the loan. So you can actually find a copy of the fee schedule on Financial Pacific Leasing's website, and they update this agreement, this clauses every single month or every single quarter. So Financial Pacific Leasing leases most types of equipment, both new and used. Okay, so this is kind of cool because some companies only focus on leasing new equipment, but Financial Pacific Leasing is okay with leasing old equipment. And also, most industries qualify, but there are some restrictions. So this company, Financial Pacific Leasing, will not provide equipment leasing for planes, trains, and boats. So those are 7 digits, 8 digits sort of lease agreements. They do not want to go there. So they do not provide equipment leasing for personal vehicles, for gaming, for day spas, for hazmat and related equipment. Okay, so those are off the radar for them. Adult entertainment businesses, semi truck owner operators, tenant improvements, firearm manufacturers, and cannabis business. So if you have a cannabis business, don't go with this lender. So how do you apply to Financial Pacific Leasing this year? Basically, you need to go to, like I said, you can have a soft pull first, and if you like what you have in terms of offer, then you go through the hard pull. Okay. So step number one, you want to apply. You want to go through their website. Okay, and things are pretty easy, pretty straightforward there. The application itself is streamlined. Okay, and so once you fill in the information, it probably takes you 2 to 3 minutes to fill in the info. They'll ask you about your company. They'll ask you about your how long you've been in business, what kind of equipment you want to really finance or lease, what kind of industry you're in. Like I said, they have some no-go industries. There are some industries that they will not finance. So make sure that you're not in the prohibited list. Okay. So once you actually fill out the info, 2 to 3 minutes, one of their loan experts, one of their reps will call you, and the loan expert will take the time to actually have a deeper conversation with you to understand what you're looking to accomplish. Okay, and the loan expert will also tell you what kind of possibilities are available in house. And so one thing I want to say here is that once you are comfortable with what they're asking or what they're saying, you need to provide documentation. Okay. So basically, again, the documentation depends on the equipment you're trying to lease or finance. And then you get your determination. That's step number 3. So Pacific Financial Leasing will let you know within 24 to 72 hours, okay, whether your application has been approved and or if any required paperwork actually is still pending. Okay, so and the funds, just be aware, the funds will go to the equipment vendor to purchase or lease the business equipment if approved. They don't really wire the money to you. they wire the money directly to the equipment vendor. So after receiving your equipment, you will begin to make payments. You will have a fixed payments for your financing agreements in all cases. And so for leasing, you will make your scheduled payments for the lease term. At the end of the lease term, you will either return the equipment or exercise your buy option. And for some leases, the total price of the equipment is actually divided over the lease term. At the end of the lease, you purchase the equipment for $1. And this option is essentially a lease to own agreement. Okay. So something that you might want to think about. So if you think about this company, Financial Pacific Leasing, this year, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of this lender? Well, first of all, if you think about like on the plus side, the positive, this company has been in the industry for a while. I told you, they actually started in 1975. That's a lot of years, right? A lot of years from until today. That's really, really good. So the company is an established leader in the industry. So with nearly 50 years of experience, it has built relationships with equipment vendors and third-party originators to actually offer multiple financing options for everything from equipment leasing to equipment financing. This is kind of cool. And also, and this is a good advantage when it comes to Financial Pacific Leasing, they don't require bank statements and they offer special financing options for startups. Because remember, when it comes to equipment leasing or equipment financing, the equipment itself constitutes the collateral. Okay, so you don't really need to have bank statements or even have the borrower credit score to actually get approved. Okay, so getting 100% of the equipment cost financed is also possible, although some agreements will require as much as 15% as a down payment. And Financial Pacific Leasing also offers fast turnaround times to fund equipment financing, and the process is usually quicker and less involved than applying for equipment financing through a bank or traditional lender. So those are the advantages of going to this lender. What are the disadvantages? Well, first of all, they charge like way higher APRs than the industry standard for equipment financing. Even though they've been around for a while, they're still charging a lot of cash when it comes to APR. So the higher rates are even compounded by the extra fees, which can add up throughout the financing agreement. So while the company offers a faster underwriting process, it's still somewhat strict and automated. Okay, so to qualify, things can be a little challenging depending on the equipment you are trying to finance or lease, but also your industry. Okay, but also your financial your financial history. And also, the company has poor user reviews. Okay, their triple B rating is A minus with 1 out of 5 on user reviews. On Trustpilot, the company has a 2 out of 5 rating on 13 reviews. So this is something to really be aware of. So what are the pros and cons here if you think about this company this year? So one thing I want to really focus on is that the fast funding is really, really a biggie when it comes to Financial Pacific Leasing. The fact that you can get your funding real fast is really big because when it comes to equipment financing, sometimes this can take on days. It can take days, if not weeks, to get approval. Okay, so getting fast funding through Financial Pacific Leasing is really fantastic, especially because if you need the equipment ASAP to actually operate your business or operate to include as part of your operations. Actually, this is kind of cool to get the cash fast. Okay, so fast funding is really good. And if you are a small business owner and you don't have a bank account or your bank account is not really where it should be, or you are on check systems or early warning systems or a telecheck, like you have a banking problem, the fact that you don't have a bank account wouldn't be a problem with Financial Pacific Leasing because they do not require bank statements. I mean, and they're not even wiring the money to you, right? They're not sending the money to you. They're sending the money directly to your equipment originator. So that's why they don't even require bank statements. Now they will need bank statements from. They will need actually a bank account number from you to actually pay to make the lease payments. And also with Financial Pacific Leasing, what you will love is that they have programs available for startups. So even if you are a brand new business and you want to buy equipment, you want to finance that equipment, Financial Pacific Leasing can really help you out. This is kind of cool. But you just have to remember that they have negative customer reviews, okay? And the rates are higher than similar lenders. So just be sorry about that. So just be aware of that aspect of things. So overall, what I want to say here is that when it comes to Financial Pacific Leasing, just keep in mind this is a legit lender. Okay, they are accredited by the Triple B, the Better Business Bureau. They've been around since 1975, so you can trust them. You can trust your data. You can trust that you will get funded. Just be aware that you'll pay like high amounts. Okay, but they actually will fund you fast as well. Okay, and but the only thing is people don't like the fact that their pricing process is not transparent. People actually hate the lack of transparency when it comes to their pricing. Some people talk about confusing financing agreements with hidden fees and liabilities. Okay, and some people have talked about, not knowing they had to sign a personal guarantee or monthly payments working out to more than the total financing agreement. Okay, but one thing for sure, if you applied and were rejected, your denial letter will indicate why. Okay, so that you can really think about your backup option. One thing for sure, there are tons of equipment leasing companies, equipment financing companies. So if you are interested in learning more if you're learning more about the Financial Pacific leasing alternatives, let me know in the comment section, and I will certainly explain more. I'll give you more names. We have like from Balboa Capital all the way to you have a lot more. You have a lot of players in this space. Okay, but I need to know where you are at, the city and state where you are at, to be able to give you the best lender for you. Okay. So, in conclusion to this conversation, I just spoke to you about Financial Pacific Leasing. I told you what the company does, how to apply, okay, and what are the qualifications, what are the pros and cons, the advantages and the disadvantages. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.